This is the story of the Vision Splendid. It had been dry for 8 weeks, and the whole of the sky was full of dust. Nobody thought it would ever rain again. And then, one afternoon, we saw the storm clouds coming from the south, and we prayed for rain. Your mother, who I didn't know, went to church and she prayed for it to rain. And I prayed too, but not in church. And then I'd say, "Did it rain? Did it rain?" My father would say, "When your mother asks God for rain." It rained like all the air was a river, and the drains in the street filled up and the water crept out across the main street until it swallowed it. I was down at the co-op shifting flour and grain, and I just looked up, just glanced up, and that, my father would say, was when I saw the Vision Splendid. And I'd say, "What was it? What was the Vision Splendid?" And he'd say, "It was your mother, lad. Your mother, standing in the bow of the boat, piled high with things from the church. She was standing in the bow, holding the cross. And her eyes, my boy, her eyes. All that water, and such luminous eyes."
Good story, Harry. Yeah, good story.
Tell that story. Oh, yes.
This cake is great. Yeah, you bought this, didn't you? Everybody.
This is a story about a fella who told stories, Harry Joy. He wasn't the most clever bloke you ever met. He wasn't even very original, but everyone thought he was a good bloke. And he was happy with the world and his place in it. He loved his wife, and she loved him in her way. He was proud of his son, who, as everyone knew, was going to be a doctor. And his daughter, who was all set to be a social worker. He got on well with his junior partner. He got on well with everybody, even the clerks.
I'll give you a hand.
Yeah.
Luke, come on.
I'm keeping my balloon.
Harry Joy had a more or less successful business, a little advertising agency. He owned his own house. He loved his family. He believed what he read in the paper. Why shouldn't he be happy? He had one big problem that he didn't know about. He was about to die. Harry saw his death as if it was someone else's. He watched himself from outside his body, and he wasn't scared at all. He found he could slide between the spaces in the air itself. Ecstasy touched him. He was stroked by something which felt like trees, cool, green and leafy. It occurred to him that he'd died. Then he got scared. He felt walls like membranes which shivered with pain, and a sound, a terrible sound which promised meaningless tortures like the Christian stories of his youth. He recognized the world of pleasure, the world of pain, bliss, punishment, heaven and hell. He didn't want to die. And in a calm, clear space, he found his way back to his body. Harry Joy had been dead for 4 minutes. And he would never be quite the same again, let me tell you.
What's this?
Good day, Betty. How much?
Fill it up.
Sorry, what?
Fill it up.
What?
Don't be a bastard.
My daughter. Can't stand the smell of petrol. Hates it. Drives her crazy. Remember little Pram? Used to park it over there. Little Betty.
Relax, Mr. Joy. Just relax. Your wife's coming in to see you after lunch.
Hiya, Aldo. She tricked me. I would never have given her Harry's table if I'd known. I thought she was having lunch with Harry. I didn't know he was in hospital. Everybody else knew. They shouldn't do it at Harry's table.
A very dry martini, Aldo. And very dry this time, huh?
I ordered you a daiquiri.
I don't like daiquiris.
I would have drunk it.
What a pair of creeps. Harry's in hospital and they're screwing each other. I'd lay money on it.
Doctor says he'll be fine. Coronary bypass is a dangerous operation, but he's confident he'll be fine.
Marvelous. He shouldn't
I told him.
I've told him too.
Won't listen.
He'll be fine. He won't die.
See? What did I tell you? Poor Harry. Everybody loves him, except his wife.
Here comes a little monkey. He knows.
Rubbish.
He must have smelt you.
You really smell it.
Like sardines.
I hope that'll be dry enough, sir.
Yeah.
I'm going to die.
Stop it.
Don't be angry.
No, I'm not angry.
Bring your chair a bit closer. Come on. Come and give me a kiss. Phew. 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 What have you been up to?
Nothing.
You smell like whiskey.
I had a drink with Joel. Listen, you stop all this dying rubbish. It's just like your hives. You're going to talk yourself into it.
No, you don't understand. It's not the dying that I mind.
Look, I don't want you to die.
Do you believe in God, Bettina? Something happened to me when I had the attack. I haven't told anyone. I had a vision. I left my body and I went up into the air.
Maybe you should see a psychologist.
It was a warning. I saw heaven and hell. There is a heaven and there is a hell.
I'll get him fired. Oh, that doctor, he's a clumsy fool. No wonder you're frightened.
Yeah, you don't understand. It's got nothing to do with the doctor.
He's got sausage fingers.
Yeah, I know.
You're too nice to go to hell, Harry. If anyone's going to hell, it's going to be me.
It is harder for a rich man to enter the kingdom of God than for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle.
I'm going to die. I'm going to die.
Excuse me, I was wondering if you might tell me where I could find Harry Joy.
Just behind those pink flowers.
Oh, thank you. Okay. G'day. Join you?
Yeah, go for your life.
Odd socks. I'm wearing odd socks. Now, sometimes I go to the laundromat with pairs and I come back with all odd socks. Then sometimes I go to the laundromat with odd socks and I come back with pairs. Sometimes.
Harry.
Des.
The Reverend Des.
You bet.
Well, then. As the joys of heaven are enjoyed by men, so shall the pains of hell be suffered. As they will be men still, so will they act and feel as men.
Oh. Sir Harry, do you think that God is such a bastard that he'd want to torture you for all eternity?
No, why shouldn't he?
Oh, well, it doesn't make sense. It'd be like you, wanting to hurt flies or ants.
That's right.
This was written in 1649.
Yes.
Well, it's a bit out of date, isn't it?
We're talking about eternity, and you're quibbling about 350 years. Well, if it was true once, it must always be true. I mean, what about all the people he sent there in the Middle Ages? Have they all been allowed to come home? Are you saying there's definitely no hell? There is a hell.
Well, I just don't think that God would want to harm us.
Maybe not your God. Maybe another God. I mean, maybe it's a they and not a he. Maybe it's a great big empty part of space, I mean, charged with electricity.
Well, then I can't help you.
Maybe I'm wrong. Don't you see? I might be wrong.
Harry, your face.
Oh, it's only my bloody hives.
Maybe we should have talked about cricket.
June 1800.
Stay.
Aren't you going to pick it up?
Why should I?
So you can hide it in the back of the Fiat with the rest of the money. It's okay, I found it there months ago.
If you tell anyone, I'll kill you.
I know. You're going to New York, aren't you? In New York, there are towers of glass. It's the most beautiful and terrible city on earth. When God makes the next flood.
Shut up.
It's just a story.
Just get out of here, will you? And if you come here scrounging for freebies, you can forget it.
David, please.
You don't understand, do you? This is my business. If you want Coke, you have to pay for it.
And where do I get $200?
$2.50.
Come on, David. Be nice to your sister.
My sister won't be nice to me.
Is that what you want?
Just want my sister to be nice to me.
For a deal. Yeah? Wouldn't you rather have the money? Okay, then. Get it out.
Don't talk like that.
Like what?
Don't talk tough. Talk soft. Okay?
Okay.
Sister. Little sister. Hello, Mummy. How's Daddy?
In New York, there are towers of glass. It is the most beautiful and terrible city on earth. All good, all evil exists there. And if you know where to look, you can find the devil. He drives down 42nd Street in a Cadillac with black windows. He lives in Park Avenue, surrounded by his servants.
He believes everything you tell him. Now stop it.
My darling Patricia, you know it's true.
It is harder for a rich man to enter the kingdom of God than a camel to pass through the eye of a needle.
Shit, I've died again. Christ, I really do something.
It is harder for a rich man to enter the kingdom of God than for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle.
Say that, please don't say that.
Harry Joy's post-operative period was painful and disturbing. Slowly, during his recovery from his successful operation, Harry Joy became totally convinced that he was actually in hell.
Drugged him. Oh, no. Look, he's asleep, that's all.
I think he knows we're here.
Harry Joy was conducting tests. The purpose of these tests was to establish whether he was really in hell or whether he was mad. He began by hoping he was mad, but the more he looked, the more he became convinced that these were not his real family, but clever imitations placed there to torment him. The evidence was mounting every day.
Dad?
Are you a communist?
Yeah?
Good.
It's true, they did something to him.
Don't be absurd. It's true. Look, Lucy, stop it.
Look, when I was rubbing his head, I saw a mark.
Nonsense.
I mean, you know what they do in hospitals. They make mistakes all the time.
Rubbish.
Okay. Which verb starting with L is a synonym of abominate? Mickey. No.
His family, in moments of clarity, saw and sensed his pain. They did the most absurd things to please him. But when their love was not reciprocated, they became angry and irritable, and sometimes more than a little mad.
Allied powers, and this is the last pick of the board. For free money, who am I? I was born 1902 in Detroit. In 1924, I enlisted in the United States Army and trained... Mickey. Lindbergh. Yeah. Charles Lindbergh. My given name is Charles. Wow. John F. 25. Okay, fast money, ladies.
Why do you make up such stupid stories, you silly bitch?
Didn't you? Just too stupid to believe me, you harlot.
Don't you call me a harlot. You commie slug! Slug!
Yeah,
Slug!
what are you doing?
Never will I listen to you again, ever!
You're going mad.
Slug! Honestly, you really think people believe those
You're
stories?
going mad, aren't you?
Where did you buy fantasy? Well, I don't believe anything. I believe the truth.
Listen, they're at it again.
Turn
the light off, they'll see you.
How you doing, Davy? Where's your father?
My father?
Yeah, where is he?
Not my mother? My father. He's in the shed. But he won't talk to you.
Harry? Harry, it's me. I've brought the balance sheets, Harry.
I said, Harry, I've brought the balance sheets here. February figures are not very good, Harry. I've done some projections for the next 2 months. Well, what do you want me to do, Harry?
Just continue.
Come on, I can take advice.
Continue, just continue. That's my advice.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this garden salad here, we ordered that, but it didn't arrive. So what I've done here, I've corrected the check, and I've subtracted that amount for you, and it's now $34.85.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Oh, what's so funny? I argued with the man because he charged us for salad he didn't bring. He admits his mistake.
That was Harry. He must be feeling better. He's going to Milano.
We're not going to discuss Harry anymore. We talk about Harry in bed. We talk about Harry while we fuck. We can't even come to our own restaurant.
Well, don't talk about Harry. Talk about how we're going to set up our own agency. Talk about how we're going to sell it. Talk about how we're going to open it in New York.
Look, about New York.
Don't lay that on me. That's Harry's big trick. All talk about New York. All he ever wanted to do was sit in his house getting drunk in his dump.
No, I didn't order this.
I did, sweetie.
No. Excuse me. Didn't I notice you lift your eyebrow in a disagreeable way?
I beg your pardon, sir?
I said, didn't I notice you lift your eyebrow in a disagreeable way?
I'm sorry, Mr. Joy, but your usual table's full. No, it's not your usual table anymore. We're out of the Mercury Blanc. Have some Meursault.
And pearl perch and sorrel sauce. And how are you, Andy?
We eat, we shit, we die. I myself have cancer.
Oh, no. That's terrible.
Terrible. Why is it terrible? I'm going to die. What's so special about it? For old time's sake, Harry, they're giving me chemotherapy. That makes me ill. So, they give me marijuana. Counteracts the effects of the chemotherapy. Illegal. Except for fortunate people like me who are dying of cancer. It's not bad stuff. I mean, in comparison with wine, it's definitely under par.